What's up, fartheads? Here's another article. Opinion in the Toronto Star by Fay Faraday. Show women the money. April 10th is Equal Pay Day this year, an event that marks the size of the gender pay gap. It reflects how far women on average need to work into the new year to earn what men earned by December 31st of the previous year. The gap isn't new, and it's not inevitable. It's a product of systemic discrimination sustained by employer and government choices. The solutions to close the gaps have been known for decades. It's time for bold action. Okay, the whole premise of this fucking thing is that women get paid less than men because they're women, because they don't have dicks, and dicks equal more money, according to Fay Faraday, who is a labor human rights lawyer in Toronto. She is the co-chair of the Ontario Equal Pay Coalition. Imagine having this myth be your entire, it's your whole embodiment of who you are. Your entire life is being a victim and fighting for so-called victims of this fucking made-up bullshit nonsense fucking argument. Indigenous women in Ontario face a 43% gender pay gap. Racialized women, i.e. non-white, racialized women face a 38% gap, and immigrant women face a 34% gap. And there's no other reason as to why these certain groups could possibly be making less than men. Other than discrimination by government and employer. Those are the only two possible reasons that women could be paid less, apparently. On average, Ontario women earn 29.3% less than men. It's such bullshit. It's time to show women the money. Ontario can do that by taking 3 bold steps on pay transparency, childcare, and funding of public services. So the government that's oppressing women, they should be funding public services, because I guess only women use public services. I don't know. I don't understand the concept behind that whatsoever. Ontario is introducing a Pay Transparency Act. My nose is fucking running. But the bill must be strengthened, so all employers with at least 10 employees must prove that they are complying with the existing laws that prohibit pay discrimination, rather. Okay. Pay transparency laws require employers to disclose anonymized wage data by sex, showing pay for each occupation, employment status, and distribution throughout the company hierarchy. It's just such fucking nonsense. So you're creating more work for people because they need to prove that they're paying certain people the same, although, you know, a company with let's say 10 employees, chances are, you know, a company with 10 employees, all these people don't have the exact same job. You know, you'll have people that do, you know, payroll, invoicing, bookkeeping. You'll have a delivery guy, let's say. You'll have someone that, you know, creates or manufactures a product that you're selling or something. So it's complete bullshit that you have to submit some sort of transparency documents. A strong law can expose when women and men are paid differently for the same work. When female-dominated jobs are underpaid relative to men's work or similar value. So who's going to decide what's equal work and equal pay for how could you possibly have, like, how many people work at a company who have the exact same amount of days worked, they have the exact same amount of responsibility, the exact same amount of efficiency when it comes to whatever certain job that they're doing? It's like, there's so many flaws in this. Like, I don't even disagree with the premise itself. Of course, men and women should be paid, and I guarantee on average they are. Not even on average. I would say overwhelmingly, a person who is a man and a person who is a woman who do the exact same job and have worked for the exact same amount of years typically get paid around the exact same amount of money. I mean, women, first of all, women are mothers. So you're going to have women who are not working or take themselves out of the workforce for, let's say a year or two. And is it not an okay thing for a man to be paid more if he hasn't taken any time off as opposed to the person that has been off for 2 years, providing care for a life? This whole, this person has a coalition formed for this nonsense. There's so many questions here, and they just bring it down to percentages and have no real data to back anything up. And now they just want transparency documents submitted so that someone can comb through the details of their business and decide whether or not they're guilty, and then punish that person for not making sure that this woman is paid as much as the man is. That seems like fascism. Not fascism. That's the wrong word. It seems like fucking authoritarian. While Ontario wrestles with who should be subject to pay transparency, Canadian companies and transnational companies that operate in Canada must already file such reports in the UK and elsewhere around the globe. For example, RBC's UK report shows that women's average pay is 51% lower than men's, and women are concentrated in the company's lowest income quartile. Similarly, BlackBerry's report shows that women's average pay is 33.8% lower than men's. Even at a female-dominated company like Blue Cross, where women outnumber men at all income quartiles, women's average wage is 25.5% lower than men's. Okay, but those are just numbers. So why is that number true? Again, you're just showing me that certain companies have women that earn less, and it can't possibly be for the exact same work. And are you taking all the employees at, for instance, it's like Blue Cross, where it says women are dominated, if they're only 25.5% lower than men? So are you also incorporating the CEO and the CFO, who might possibly be men, and taking their wages and combining them with all the other men that work there, and then combining all the women? Let's say there's no women in the top brass at Blue Cross. Are you taking all the women that are working these lower end jobs and comparing the two? Because those, I mean, how many times have we spoken about the pay gap over the last 2-3 years? I mean, there's so many other factors that you have to take into consideration. The hours worked, like I said, the years, time off, all this stuff, people's, willingness to work, or dedication to their job. I mean, this is an advocacy for equal outcome, which is communism. We're not into communism. Sorry, the world tried that, and it sucks shit. Finally, government must ensure public services are funded to provide pay equity wages now. Wow. Fay Faraday is a fucking authoritarian fucking communist feminazi. Women delivering important public services through community and social agencies have waited for pay equity wages since 1994. Because pay equity is being phased in slowly, many of them will wait decades before their pay gaps are closed. Public services shouldn't be subsidized by women's undervalued and underpaid labor. Women are done waiting. Show us the money. There's little to no statistical facts here that anyone can take seriously, besides the fact that some women, on average, earn less and just because that they're women and because we're discriminating against them, I don't agree with that premise. So fuck your opinion and fuck Fay Faraday.